Okay. See, you see it. All of these NFL players are cashing in millions of dollars from contracts, endorsement deals, and other business opportunities, but somehow they go from riches to rags. This is for a variety of reasons after they retire. In fact, the National Bureau of Economic Research published a report in August of 2015, and that research shared that almost 16% of NFL players are forced to declare bankruptcy at some point after 12 years after they retire from the league. Come on, man. Several factors play into why this happens, but we're gonna dive deeper. Might as well subscribe by the bell if you like sports content. Far too many former NFL players go from living in mansions to finding themselves either out on the streets or worse, behind bars. Every up-and-coming football player should remember these riches to rags examples before they go out and buy all these expensive cars, lavish homes, and unnecessary stuff that may not be worth a lot down the road. Warren Sapp. Former defensive tackle Warren Sapp is a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Sapp reportedly made over $82 million during his playing career, but all of that, minus the plaque that honors him in Canton, is now gone. Sapp reportedly had hundreds of dollars in his bank account when he filed for bankruptcy in 2012, and it was later learned that he also had more than $6.5 million in debt. Man, that ain't right. But things didn't get better there. Sapp was involved in a case that had to do with domestic violence. Now, Sapp has reportedly gotten past his bankruptcy issues, but the lavish life he once had is just a thing of the past. Sam Hurd. Sam Hurd was a promising wide receiver with the Dallas Cowboys, and he punished the New York Giants during a Sunday night football game in the fall of 2007. But due to multiple legal problems, his career was done in December of 2011, and any NFL money he once had in the bank had been spent on court cases. Hurd was just 28 years old when he received a prison sentence for 15 years. And he was found guilty of conspiring the distribution of illegal drugs across multiple states. Chris McAllister, a first-round pick and a defensive back who once signed a contract over $50 million. The former Baltimore Ravens star Chris McAllister became a cautionary riches to rags story in September of 2011. At this point, he was in the middle of a child support battle, claimed that he was so broke that he had to live with his parents to survive. But he's gotten back up on his feet. He has since spent a few years as a coaching assistant with the Cowboys and the Bills and has recently gotten into real estate. Dexter Manley. That man in his prime was a complete nightmare for quarterbacks around the NFL. But Manley had some major drug problems. Not only that, he had other issues away from the field that banned him from the NFL in 1991. Those same problems followed him after he played his last down in the league, as Manley sold his Super Bowl ring so that he could fund a cocaine habit. He even found himself homeless after having his own mansion in his hometown. The NFL Network has a feature of the rise and the fall of Manley in addition of the popular A Football Life series. That program made its debut on September 25th, 2015. Check those out. Ray Rice. Now, Ray Rice was a dog on the field, but in 2014, there was a video of him hitting his wife in Atlantic City, and unfortunately for him, that video went viral, and the blow appeared to have knocked his fiancée, Janae, right out onto the ground. He later dragged the unconscious woman out of the casino, and this caused the NFL to change its policies of how it handled domestic abuse cases. The fallout, though, was tough on Ray Rice. He lost $10 million from his 5-year, $30 million deal with the Ravens. And he also had to forfeit his contracts with Nike and EA Sports. He has not received any endorsement deals since that. And the crazy part about that is, Rice and Janae got married just a year later. Ryan Leaf. Even the casual football fan is likely familiar with the life and the times of Ryan Leaf. Leaf was the second overall pick in the 1998 NFL Draft, but he was just a mess as a player, and as a person, 4 years after he was out of the league, he found himself in prison multiple times. Among his many issues were addictions to substances such as painkillers. Leaf is now a free man, but his story is definitely one of the biggest what-if stories in NFL history. Lawrence Taylor, LT, the first LT. Now, a lot of people know LT's story, but it's still downright tragic to see one of the best defensive players ever go straight broke. Taylor enjoyed spending his money on the women, drugs, and high society things just like many other players. But once his career was over, he went to jail 3 times and had a terrible cocaine problem and was involved in selling drugs and guns. In his playing career, he earned over $50 million and he eventually had to file bankruptcy in 1998. And again, this isn't to throw shade at any of these players, this is just the tragicness of what happens. There's agencies out there helping players after the league. Shout out to them. Aaron Hernandez. Now, if you don't know about him by now, then I don't know what to say. But anyway, he made over $100 million in NFL salary, just to later be involved with some homicide and then be found dead in his cell. O.J. Simpson. How is it that popular athlete like O.J. Simpson could get involved with a burglary case roughly a decade after he was not guilty of 2 innocent people? For starters, Simpson in 2007 was on the hook for the majority of the $33.5 million judgment that stemmed from a civil suit which came after the infamous murder trial. O.J. was in the news again that same year after he was involved in an alleged robbery that occurred at the Las Vegas hotel. Simpson claimed that he was attempting to retrieve his memorabilia, but luck was not on his side that time around. In 2008, he was convicted and sentenced to 33 years in prison with a minimum of 9 years with parole. He did his time and was granted parole on July 20th, 2017. However, he has little from his previous life, if anything at all. No shade at all to any of these NFL players. This is just to bring the problem of athletes after they retire. There are multiple agencies around the NFL working on this, as well as other leagues too. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe by the bell if you're new. Appreciate the view, and as always, thank you for watching.